Hello everyone, welcome to Sketchbook episode number 12. In today's video, I will share some quick tips to get better at drawing. I hope these tips will be useful for any beginners in order to improve their drawing skills. For real-time video of this video along with other fun rewards, please check out my Patreon channel at patreon.com/atiraKS. Okay, so on to today's topic of discussion. My first tip is, of course, practice. There is no other way to improve your drawing skills. Keep practicing. Draw daily if possible. I know most of you are sick of hearing this, but there is a reason that most of the artists and the art teachers give out this as their number one tip. If you want to get better at drawing, you have to put in the time. Nothing can replace you simply putting in the hours until you get better. Next tip is to use light pressure while drawing. I have noticed in case of most of the beginners or those who are just beginning to draw tend to make their lines very dark. I think this is because of the fact that they see most of the finished products of cartoons. They see that they have very bold lines and assume that they are supposed to make these lines very dark. That's not the case. Always begin your drawing with very light and loose lines. This helps in erasing the lines and correcting your drawing. Also, it helps in trial and experiment. You can check whether your drawing looks right, your composition looks right, or whether the proportions look right. Next tip is to always use shorter lines. It's easier to make mistakes when you draw a long continuous line. You could always get things wrong when you draw a long line. If you use smaller, shorter lines, you again get room for experiment and it helps in correcting your mistakes along the way. Next tip is to make sure you get the basic shape or outline correct before you get into shading or getting into further details. This helps in getting proportion and composition right. Without getting the proportions right, there is no point in getting all the details and shading correct. Even if you get your shading and details correct, if the proportion is all wrong, you have to erase it and you have to redraw that. So once you get everything right, then you can get into details without redrawing and erasing a lot. Next tip is to go easy on the erasing. If you use too much eraser, you might ruin the texture of the paper. If you don't use harsh lines and kind of use shorter lines to draw the outlines and get your proportions right, then you can reduce the usage of eraser. Next tip is something that I talk a lot about in all my videos. When you are shading something, always get your values right. Always get your lights light enough and your darks dark enough. This helps in making your drawing look more realistic and helps the drawing to pop. I hope you find all these tips useful. Make sure to check out my other social media pages. I will be leaving a link in the description box below. Catch you in my next episode. Bye.